It's Friday Night Lights in the Greene King IPA Championship. And our attention is focused here in the East Midlands as two sides prepare to do battle who would frankly bite your arm off for a win. Neither side tasting victory since well before Christmas, but barring a draw, well, that will change tonight. After plenty of wind, snow and ice as well. Well, delighted to say that it's been sunny and dry today. So make sure you get your dinner ready. Pour yourself a glass of something nice, sit back and get comfortable. Because we're in West Bridgeford, Lady Bay, and we're all set for this evening's Greene King IPA Championship match. It's round 16 as Nottingham Rugby take on Cornish Pirates. My name's Nick Heath, and we've got a suitably experienced man alongside me. Go! Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Rob Vickerman. Do you like that?
There's a bit of an array of bad hairs. Incredible haircuts.
There's the history for you. How are you?
Very good, thank you, Nick. Lovely to be here, back in the Championship once more. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. The league's been going on apace. We're up to round 16 now, of course. A bit of British and Irish Cup over the last few weeks, but you know, here we are tonight, Friday Night Lights. Both of these sides, as I said in the intro, desperate for a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are proper Championship teams. You talk about this league, it's been a developmental. There's a real international flavour. We've got Italians, Argentinians, a few Canadians in the mix. So really is a truly global league. But ultimately, a lot of these players will be looking to progress to Premiership Rugby for sure. Yeah,
7 rounds to go as well. Bristol are at the top of the table, 13 points clear currently, but mathematically still so much left in it. And of course, we had plenty of tries going down in round 15 last week. Let's have a look at the try-lights that we've got then and see how a few of those went over. So we can have a look at the results then from round 15. And there we are, Bedford losing out to Jersey Reds 29-33. Doncaster beating London Scottish at home 19 points to 17. Ealing, well, there was that close one right at the top of the table. If any team was going to stop Bristol, Rob Vickerman, we were thinking that it could have been Ealing, but Bristol managed to get that result over the line.
Yeah, it was a great game. Ealing actually winning it to the latter stages of the game. Bristol just showing their strength they've got and really just give hope to the rest of the league that they are a team that are potentially beatable.
And alongside the Richmond result against Rotherham, Cornish and Carnegie was called off, was postponed due to the quality of the pitch, but that result against Hartpury really hurt Nottingham. 39 points to 20. They'd fought back to 20 points all in that second half, but then the game got away from them in a 10-minute spell, and well, that's left us with this position in the table. They were 4th and 5th when we looked at this game a couple of months ago and thought that could be a tasty encounter come February. They're now 8th and 9th.
It's really incredible looking at this, pretty much from 4th down to 11th. You have teams that can all beat each other. Rotherham perhaps slightly adrift from that, as you see on the points table there on the right, Nick, but really is a competitive league, and that's exactly what you want. And as you saw from the highlights there, lots of tries are scored, some significant points for in the column there as well.
So we can have a look at the recent results and the form of these two sides. This is Nottingham. Those are the 4 losses, but well, there's that draw as well, and then the loss against Bristol. It means that their last victory was back in the middle of November. That result against Ealing Trailfinders, incidentally, actually while our live cameras were here. So I have mentioned to a couple of the coaches that I'm their good luck mascot for Nottingham. They might be picking up a win again tonight, but it's been a dearth of victories.
Yeah, that's not good reading, is it? Any Nottingham fans around the world looking at that thinking, oh God, what are we expecting tonight? But one thing is for sure, these two teams have both had it tough, so I'm sure they're looking to right a few wrongs for sure.
Yeah, let's have a look at the Cornish Pirates results then. Not quite as long a run of losses, just those 3, but they'll have been disappointed. Obviously, they had the called-off game last week, but losing to bottom of the table, Rotherham Titans will also have made its mark.
Yeah, and they're a real proud bunch. You know, you talk about the Cornish spirit, they've got that in bags. Mentioned the international flavour to their teams, but their coaches, who are adopted Cornishmen, really are saying that this team are capable and are really disappointed, ultimately want to come out and perform, and after a week off, they are chomping at the bit.
Yeah, they certainly are. There's plenty to enjoy about tonight's fixture, because both of these sides, although they're 8th and 9th in the table respectively, when you look at the amount of points scored in the table, well, they're actually up in the top 6, so we're certainly going to see plenty of points going forward tonight. Maybe it's been against some of the top sides where the defences haven't been as strong. Yeah,
exactly. Nottingham here actually put 3 fly halves in their back line, so people expect to see them throwing the ball around a lot, that's for sure, but it comes down to the grunt often in this league. The big men up front, they're the ones that have to create the platform to set the tempo turn, let the backs do the damage out wide. Yeah, well, it's great to have your company with us. Keep in touch with us if you're watching on the England Rugby Facebook page in particular. Leave a comment, ask a question, let us know what you're having for dinner. Might fancy a chance, pop round. If you're in Nottingham, we'll be around after for dessert. But we have caught up with the coaches ahead of kick-off, so let's hear from it's Alan Paver for Cornish Pirates and Ian Costello from Nottingham. Well, Alan, big night here in Nottingham. Your squad have had an extra bit of time to prepare what with the postponed game last week. How has that affected things?
Well, it's given the guys a bit of a break physically, and obviously mentally it's nice to freshen up. Not quite how we wanted it, you know, we'd like the breaks as they're shown in the fixture list, but no, we've got some decent training done, so we come here in good spirits, and the bodies are freshened up.
The last league match was obviously that loss to Rotherham, so is it a little longer to have that hanging in the memory?
Yeah, the only probably saving grace to that is that we went up to Hartbury, and against a strong Hartbury side, we actually put a very decent performance on that pitch. Emotionally, we were in a very different place to them. You know, we had the opportunity to go through in the BNI, and they were pretty much spent. I understand that, but we still, you know, played what was in front of us. So it was good to get a good performance in, then leads us on nicely to the league, and we've just had to wait an extra week.
Yeah, how's the preparation been then with the boys?
Good. We could carry over sort of 75-80% of what we did for Leeds. Obviously, we've had to make adjustments, different side, different tactics. But it gives us 2 weeks to nail down some of the areas in our game that we need to work on. So it's been a productive 2 weeks.
Brett Bukaboom, 50th club appearance, a word on him?
Good player. He's big for us, you know, and when he's away with Canada, you know, we do feel there's a hole in the side in terms of his leadership and his ability to command that line out, and he's a tough man as well. So to have him back, and obviously for him to hit his 50, you know, we're super pleased for him, and just glad that we've got him here tonight.
And finally, what's going to be the key to unlocking this Nottingham side tonight?
Do you know, for the first time ever, I always say it's always up front, but I think it'll be who can stick to their game plan for the full 80 minutes, and you know, and weather any storm, because I think there'll be ebbs and flows in this game, so it'll be the side that stick to it for the full 80.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, Ian, here we are, a chance to get that all-elusive W.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's no secret we've been struggling since the turn of the year, and yeah, it's been incredibly frustrating. It's no lack of effort, no lack of investment from the boys, and yeah, we could really do with some reward for efforts tonight.
Yeah, how's preparation been this week?
It's been good. It's tough always when you know, you come off a 6A turnaround, and one that was pretty physical. We have a few boys that didn't even train this week. You know, we picked up a lot of knocks, and even 1 or 2 are coming right down to the warm-up now. But that's nature this time of year, I think, with squad size, etc. But I think we're well prepped mentally and physically and ready to go.
Yeah, you talk about mentally there, winning so easy when you're doing it. When you've not managed to do it for a while, it could seem a little harder to come by.
Yeah, it is. And look, you know, I'm a firm believer when your confidence is high, you look a little bit better than you are. When your confidence is low, you know, you look a lot worse than you are as well. And I think, you know, for the first time all season, last week in Hartbury, we panicked a little bit in the last 15 minutes instead of trusting, you know, what we were capable of doing. And that's what we have to avoid. We got to stick to the basics tonight. And we just talked about doing simple things really, really well with the most energy we can possibly do it with.
News this week that Matt Everard's going to be moving on. He's going to be joining you at Wasps. So Nottingham colours moving in that direction over towards Coventry. A word on his contribution to the club.
Matt, look, I don't use the word lightly. He's an exceptional character. He's been the biggest influence around the club. I've been incredibly lucky to have him as club captain. And, you know, on and off the pitch, it's just how understated he is, how unassuming he is. He leads selflessly. And I think he's actually improved significantly on the pitch the last couple of years as well, despite having an awful lot of experience. So I think disappointing that he's finished up playing. But he's also a very, very good coach. And I think we'll wish him the best. He's going to have a successful coaching career, but he's talked all week about finishing off his memories here as fond ones, and that's where we want to finish the rest of the season for him and for others.
Well, finally, Ian, Cornish Pirates are going to bring what they bring. How are you going to find victory tonight?
Yeah, I think the last time we played them, it was one of those games where tactically we got it spot on, and we mixed up our running and our kicking game. I suppose there was a little bit of an element of surprise where we scored 3 tries straight from kicks the last day. They'll be expecting that this year, so we'll probably need to have multiple threats. They're one of the most physical sides in the league. They're one of the hardest working sides. They're very well coached by Gavin Paves, and I think we'll have to outwork them. And as I said, we'll have to do the basics incredibly well. But at this stage, when you've lost 4 games on the bounce in the league, the focus is on you. It needs to be.
Go well.
Thank you very much.
So the crowd getting themselves in position. Friday night in Nottingham. They've got a fair amount in the corporate hospitality area and in the tents, haven't they, Rob?
They have indeed, yeah. A couple of big functions going on there. 400 people will be nicely oiled coming out to tonight. I think there needs to be a bit of beer warmth amongst them. It's pretty Baltic out here.
Yeah, a beer or wine coat on for a few of the gents and ladies. Let's have a look at the sides then. Ian Costello makes 4 changes and 1 positional switch from last week's disappointing loss to Hartpury. 3 of them are up front with New Zealander James Penman in for Tom West at prop. Tim Cardle partnering Alex Moon in the second row, and Jordan Coughlin switching with club skipper Matt Everard, who takes a place on the bench this week. Just speaking there, of course, to Ian Costello about him. In the backs, the absence of suspended centre Vili Hakalo means Will Millett switches into the centre from wing, and young George Furbank makes his first start on the right side, having made his debut off the bench last week. There we are. If that's not a stag do, I don't know what is. Little Bo Peep. I hope there are some sheep around. Yeah, you can see the sheep there in the left. Excellent. Good. She's quite a large girl, isn't she?
She is. Little Miss Muffet perhaps next to her.
Yeah, very good. Well, let's have a look at the Cornish Pirates lineup then. It's only their 4th game of 2018, given the soggy nature of things in the southwest. Tonight will mark Brett Bukaboom's 50th match, as we heard there, for the club, with fellow Canadian Matt Evans also into the side. Argentine Nicolas de Batista captains the side from centre alongside Dan Costa. And in the pack, 3 of the forwards were part of that 31-34 loss at the Mene in October, when these two sides met. Fijian Sam Matavesi, one of the newer faces, joining the club in December. Let's have a look at the replacements then. And there we have on the bench Matt Everard, announced this week as leaving Nottingham to continue his coaching career with Wasps. He's just 27. We'll come on to that in just a second, Rob, but expect a very warm reception when he makes his appearance. Josh Pouillet will hope to continue his scoring form from last week at Hartpury, and former Nottingham man Toby Freeman lines up as a front row replacement for the Pirates. No doubt that Matt Everard, Rod Vickerman, will be a big loss to the club. He's one of those sort of talismanic figures, but well, as they say about policemen, these coaches are getting younger and younger. 27, and he's off to hang up the playing boots and continue life as a coach.
Yeah, although you probably never think he would be 27, having seen him.
It's true.
Played against him for a fair few years, I think.
I actually watched the video during the week and had to look it up again.
Yeah, but I think he's one of these characters that club really needs to build themselves around. Clearly him now leaving, they're going to have to fill that void. It's significant, but the most important thing is that he passes on that coaching knowledge, and clearly is an experienced player in the Championship, and you need those types of players to do well in this league.
8th and 9th on the table as these two sides sit then. Obviously we know that there are no playoffs anymore in the way that the Championship is now set. So these two sides, they've got a lot of personal pride to play for. What else is in it for them tonight?
Well, ultimately they are going to be getting a certain amount of finance for where they finish the league position. So there is a little bit financially there, but ultimately you're putting 30 rugby players on a pitch at any one time that want to play. They're very competitive beasts, so expect to see that to be the driving force. Nobody wants to be on a losing run record. Both teams are, so they know they can end it. They're also 8th and 9th, so it's pretty much a 10-point game in the sense that one team can really move further ahead and put that distance between the bottom of the table.
So the players make their way out onto the field then, and Nottingham are the first to appear. The Pirates have managed to get a slight steal on Nottingham there, managing to be the second team out of the changing rooms. You often get the visitors out first, so that the home side get the big cheer. But here come the Pirates.
they've come a long way. I'm sure they can let them off that last 10 seconds or so.
There we are, both teams onto the park. You're very welcome here on the Championship Rugby.co.uk website and on the England Rugby Facebook page. My name's Nick Heath, alongside me Rob Vickerman. Our referee for this evening is Tim Wigglesworth. Great to see an experienced man in the middle, and well, he'll know all about Friday night rugby in the mud.
Thank you.
An able man, and well, we are ready to get underway. Kick-off from Will Cargill is taken down. And the first duty for Nottingham will be to opt whether to clean the lines, clear the lines and get straight to touch. They're outside the 22, so they're going to have to set up a couple here and potentially keep this ball alive. Taken in. Ball is high into the air. It's inviting Cargill through to take it, and that's brilliantly done. And then he gets the support on his shoulder from Tom Duncan, and the Pirates are trying to get away here early doors, but it's a decent tackle from Jordan Coughlan. Just stops them short. But an early bit of tails up rugby for the Pirates will give them a bit of confidence on the burst here. Marlon Walker. Now they come again through Day. Looking to go a little wider, Kyle Moyle joining it. He's so used to crossing over the whitewash. Now they don't go through quick hands, and Pirates are in at the corner for the game's first score. Well, they've fired out superbly fast. And Matt Evans, is it, who's touched down? It's De Batista.
That's some celebration. He's walking past his teammates, well and truly up for this game. As you've seen the first impact there, lovely play, ball getting shifted out. Cargill just shifts it on nicely. Cheeseman running a nice decoy line, giving Moyle the opportunity to get on the outside of the defence. He does brilliantly, and the ball nicely shifted across. Always good to see Matt Evans passing the ball on there, an out-and-out finisher, creating opportunity for his captain De Batista to score out wide. So great play there. Have to throw it back to that initial clearance kick. Nottingham clearly having a tactic to use their kickers to try and kick for position rather than getting the ball off the pitch, and this is an end result that the Pirates will be well and truly ecstatic with. Yeah, well, Cargill's take and the support line from Duncan really set up that platform and gave them that confidence, and they got through, and not the start that the home fans would have wanted. Tricky conversion effort from wide out on that far side. That is absolutely brilliant. Flags took a moment to go up there. I thought, oh, well, that's over. And then eventually they went over in agreement as well. So a dream start for the Pirates, leading by 7 points to 0. Yeah, just see the end of it here. Once again, Cargill showing not just ball on the foot is good with, but lovely link play, getting the ball out. But that Evans pass there, that was what it's all about. A bit of pressure on you, get that ball wide. One more pass is what it's all about in the Championship. We saw it there. Well, Cargill moving his total up to 116 points for the season. And flipping it there, that is a really sensible exit set, talking about clearing your lines off the restart from Nottingham. They opted to shift the ball outside the 22, ball stayed inside there, and it's a lovely touch finder. Moyle there showing his ability to get the ball past the halfway line, which is always the magic target. If you manage to do that, you put the opposition back in their territory. Jimmy Stevens, 13th league appearance for the club. Well, there's a penalty against Cornish Pirates, coming through and playing the man through the line. Tiff Eden, talented young 23-year-old. He's going to be playing his rugby at Bristol next season. See Moyle on the outside. That's what it's all about, that little jink there, left foot, right foot, shifted out. Evans, as we've said all along, getting that extra ball out. Not often you see the centre outside the winger, but we do there, and look how proud he is trotting back as well. Will Millett there looking a little flat-footed, the outside centre for Nottingham as well, defensively speaking. But now Nottingham have got a bit of front foot ball, and it's secured and away from Veenendaal, but then it's been juggled forwards, and Pirates, do they sense an opportunity to counter-attack here? Kick is played downfield.
One of the Pirates players is down.
Yeah, Cheeseman, he took a hell of a knock there on the inside, got his head the wrong side there slightly. He's a tough man. To see him down on the pitch is not a good thing. I'm sure the medics are attending to him swiftly as we see a lot of attention going into him there. It's unfortunate, he read the pass so well, the ball came from the base, he identified who was getting the ball, he went for that tackle, but because it was so flat, just got himself a little bit awkward there. And when you're in a position of getting your head the wrong side, it's often your shoulder, the typical stinger injury. You see there, long hair, he spotted the runner in, goes for that chop tackle, gets his head just the wrong side of the hip, and that is a burner right down your arm. It's a tough one to take.
Caveman down. We certainly hope that Alex Cheeseman is all right, taking every precaution.
As long as it's not his face, Nick, that's where the money maker is. The man modelling for Hollister, Cheeseman. You wouldn't know it now with his more caveman-like looks, like you say, more Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Less of those early career clean-cut looks.
It's a shame we're seeing him leave now.
He's from a school of good-looking people, though, RGS High Wycombe. Great school. Just being led away.
No, he's not looking good.
He's looking a little gingerly as he walks off. Josh Poulet makes his way onto the field. Sorry, Dan Lee. I don't know whether that is going to be an HIA, but certainly Cheeseman doesn't look like he's in too much of a rush to get off and get back on again, so we'll do our best to try and confirm whether that is an HIA, whether that is just a straight swap. But in the meantime, Alex Day is waiting to get this ball in. From that turnover ball, Pirates opted to kick that one downfield, and actually they had a lot of numbers down this near short side.
Come on. There's often that instinctive nature. You get a ball in a bit of space and you're forward, you get agoraphobic, put the ball on your foot, you got a chance. But there, the hands, you're right. This is what this league's all about. Outstanding attacking rugby from anywhere on the pitch. And whilst this position does look like Will Cargill's looking to use his left boot effectively as he goes to the near side cameras, expect the unexpected for sure.
In from Day, it's just holding at the back. So no rush to get it away. Now they're going to go to the right. Moyle with the clearance downfield. I think he got it a little more aerially than perhaps he might have wanted, a bit more distance on it. Wasn't the easiest one to compete with, and Billy Robinson was able to deal with it pretty well. Grabbing a few yards across the floor is Cardle, but then another handling error from Nottingham, and seen a couple of those creep into the early part of the game, and then it's nicely away. Good interplay between 9 and 10. Out the back again now. Cargill to look over the top, and it's through Moyle, who's joining that line with regularity, and then Costa, who's brought down. Pirates now go to the short side, where they managed to get some joy in those opening exchanges. Clarity is made from Bukaboom. Now it's away from Alex Day again, then Walker. Nottingham just unable to stop the forward onslaught, but then it was coughed up by Matt Evans in the end, and just gone forward, and Nottingham will have a chance to regroup. But the wave of gold is very relentless in the face of Nottingham at the moment, Rob.
Yeah, picking up what Ian Costello said before about energy from this Nottingham team, the one team that are showing it are the Pirates. The speed of ball is what it's all about. The ball is on the floor for no longer than 1.5 seconds. Day, the scrum half, is going to be getting through a lot of work. You can see here, just taking the ball a little bit gingerly into contact there. If you don't have a good grip on it in these conditions, you're not going to keep hold of it for long. But very impressed from this Cornish Pirates start. Just the speed of ball. If you get the speed of ball, it makes it very difficult for the defence to readdress.
If you're just joining us, Cornish Pirates straight off the mark in the opening couple of minutes. A try through Nick de Batista, the skipper, getting in the corner on the run around. Nicely set up by Kyle Moyle. And Nottingham, it's fair to say, in the opening 7 minutes, just struggling to get a foothold in the game. When our cameras were last here in November for that Ealing Trailfinders game, well, they got off to an absolute flyer. It was a bit of a barren patch in the middle where they had to hold on, but they did get the victory that day. Their last victory in the Greene King IPA Championship. They are hoping tonight will be another one to put in the W column. The Cornish Pirates will have other ideas and have got off to this decent start. Veenendaal waits to put this one in. One of 7 in the side announced in the last week who've signed on for another year. Loud blast on the whistle from Tim Wigglesworth. And although Shane Buckley thought he was away, the penalty goes to Cornish Pirates. Ball straight into the hands of Will Cargill, who fancies a chance of adding 3 points to the 7.
Big raps to the forward pack there. Solid effort. This Cornish Pirates pack slightly more hardened perhaps than the somewhat inexperienced Nottingham team collectively. Also, they've got individuals with experience. It's all about playing together in the dark arts. But that's a great effort there, and then Cargill the chance to use his left boot wisely.
Yeah, Sam Matavesi, experienced Fijian campaigner, but just 4 appearances previously for the Pirates. And then you've got well, Alex Cheeseman, who's left the field with 121 club appearances. So he will take any opportunity. And Will Cargill has a chance now for 3 more. Right, so just hooked that one a little past the right hand upright. Not sure it quite had the legs either. And Nottingham breathe a sigh of relief. Eden goes for a bit more length. Wants to try and push Pirates back into their half and make them come from deep. Tom Duncan happily accepts the invitation and then has the chance to get back to his feet and regather the ball and make another couple of yards. And now Alex Day feeds down to the right, cutting back inside is Moyle, clearly using these 2 first receivers through Moyle and Cargill. Either side of the ruck, Cornish. Here they come again. Now it's Cargill this time, looking for the option, nearly sending them through the gap, and then it's good support from Josh Caulfield. Nice interplay between forwards and backs, and they come again through Coronel, cutting back in field. George Furbank, the 21-year-old, doing his best to try and stop it. Good continuity again from the Pirates. Day, Cargill, back into the middle. Day again, looks to go the same way. Cargill once more, and then through De Batista. He's a square figure in that inside centre role. Takes a couple of men to bring him down. Moyle again stepping up. Chris Judge having to really pluck that one out of the air, but he barrels forwards, and then it's another quick pick and go. Good recognition from the forwards that when that ball's not there for Alex Day, well, they've got a job to do to just truck it on another metre or 2.
How good his Day's service been as well. Absolutely on the money. That's exactly what you want from your 9. Easiest line runners when you've got such good ball coming from your 9 and 10.
Here he goes again through Cargill. And lining up in the middle. Alan Paver said it was important for Cornish Pirates to get the game plan right. And it's certainly becoming apparent what the game plan is. Tempo and tempo. And now they get the free kick. Or was it indeed the penalty? They've gone for it quickly regardless. Now they have another penalty advantage. Carry from Caulfield once again, the 20-year-old in his 17th start for the season, and they have another penalty. And referee Tim Wigglesworth may need to start having words about the number of penalties in what is commonly known as the red zone.
Just having a quick chat there with Coughlin there. Any good open side's always going to push the barrier slightly. Wigglesworth not happy with that release, so he's penalised him there.
Stopping too late now then. Done your job, mate.
Never worth arguing with the referee, especially when he's from Hull.
Got a little family connection to Mr. Wigglesworth, haven't you?
Indeed, yeah. I used to play rugby with my father, actually. He's an open side back in the day, Tim Wigglesworth, so good to see his kind of progression with the game. On the other side, perhaps holding the whistle, but incredible rower, interestingly. Used to be pushing 6 minutes plus for a 2,000-metre row.
Good grief.
There's a useless fact for you.
Bearing in mind I'm currently doing some training myself, and I've struggled to break 8 minutes the other day, and that's excellent. And somewhat embarrassing for me. Cargill slots 3 points. No problem from that sort of range, and keeps the scoreboard ticking over.
Yet another injury there, Nick, for the Pirates. Never good to see anyone move on the pitch, but one of their more established players, Coronel, looking...
It looks like a shoulder, yeah. He's gone off with that in that fairly familiar pose. It's a forearm or a shoulder injury. So Pirates losing a couple in the early exchanges, but they'll be happy enough with the 10 points that they've got on the board. Onto the field is Harry Strong to replace Coronel. Dan Lee already on for Cheeseman. There was a little knock on that time. Tom Duncan couldn't quite get away with the release on the floor and pick up. It had just nudged its way forwards. So this is a decent field position for Nottingham, who we really haven't seen with much ball in hand.
Not at all. That's absolutely testament to how the Pirates have started this game. They have been relentless. Crowd perhaps not enjoying the Nottingham ball, not really having much of it, but they've got a chance now. And with a few changes in this Cornish Pirates team already, it's going to be interesting to see how they adjust defensively. You lose your open side and your winger, you start to replace them with people who aren't perhaps that versed with the technicalities have been in those positions.
Veenendaal waits. 15th league appearance. Free kick, Nottingham. And the tap is from Buckley, and away they go. That's going to be route one from Shane Buckley, and nosediving it from the Munster man. There is the Munster connection in the side through coach Ian Costello. Short side again, Cornish Pirates looking to try and hold them up. That's just turned into a one-man-on-man tackle on Alex Moon. Nottingham not looking quite as organised as Pirates have done on the ball, and certainly the service of the ball is a lot slower as Veenendaal tries to create a bit of momentum. Nottingham get themselves a penalty, and this will surely be a moment for Tiff Eden to get the home side on the scoreboard. Quick turnaround to check with skipper Ben Morris, but there's going to be no debate about what the option is there.
Knew exactly what he was doing there. First time in the 22, you want to be leaving with points, that's for certain. But just shows a marked difference in the pace of how these two teams are attacking. The Pirates all about that fast ball, clearing the ruck. You can see 2 or 3 men in support. Conversely, Nottingham just trying to grind through it. The pick and goes, really slow play. Fine if that's their tactic, but I'm guessing if you have 3 players in your back line that are potentially fly halves, you want to be playing with a little bit more width than that. So it must be frustrating from Nottingham's point of view, but ultimately going to try and get some points on the board.
He's opted for height, but he's actually gone a little bit cross-field with that, and it's allowed Cargill to get across and put his own ball high into the air, and it's a little bit aimless from both sides. And one of these sides is going to profit from it shortly, you would imagine, as Billy Robinson takes it. The most experienced man in green and white. Just made 80 club appearances since 2014. Not bad at all. Fired away. Eden again. Hoists it high. Chases on from Furbank. It's been knocked once by Nottingham. Advantage being played to Pirates. Little pick and go from Marlon Walker. Away again from Day. Tom Lauday goes burrowing into the next tackle. Day looks for Cargill. Cargill puts it high again. Evans chasing that on the right-hand side. So it's been dealt with well by Billy Robinson. Moon with the carry. Vinadal just a little bit held up on his way to try and get that away. Eden, haven't seen too much of him with ball in hand, but there's a penalty that's come against the Pirates for them straying offside.
Somewhat ironic cheer as well from the crowd there. But that was great. That was, what, 3 minutes of end-to-end play, a few suspecting kicks, as you say, but one thing you do get that is the broken defence, and that's when you see these mismatches happen. A lot of tight defenders in the middle, and this game really has been played at some pace, so kicks perhaps not quite as accurate as they need to be, but it does provide quite a good quality of attack.
We hope you're back with us. Understand that you may have just lost our commentary for a moment or two. You may see that as a positive, but hopefully you're back with us now. I think we had a technical miss-out, which was down to a couple of kids kicking a ball and knocking a cable out of place. So that's what you get at Lady Bay. But we are continuing. You haven't missed any scores. Nottingham 3, Cornish Pirates 10. We are all reconnected and back with you anyway. Tiff Eden gets the ball, has to go low and try and keep it alive, and then it was almost a bit of a hospital pass into Sean Scanlon. Penalty, Pirates. They've done really well to turn that over. That was the nature of that short ball to Scanlon. He didn't have an awful lot of time to try and secure the ball, and Pirates were in there quick, smart.
Yeah, that's the synergy you want to see as well. Big taps on shoulders and backs. A little bit of a celebration there, but Harry Strong didn't get enough celebration for me. He made the shot, made it all too easy for the big back rows to do their thing, and God, ever impressed with Cofield and Launday. I think they're so good over the ball. But it's well read, ball going out the back, Eden looking to try and link up, short ball to Scanlon, hits man and ball there, Strong over the top of it. And which one of the two twins? Oh, given absolute disservice. It was Costa, 13 on his back. They all look the same.
There are a lot of blonde boys in that Cornish Pirates backline, to be fair.
That was blonde and not bald,
yes,
by the way.
Yes. Pirates with it up the jumper currently. Day's been told once that he may have to use it. Now he comes away. Cargill was stood directly behind him, but now Cargill breaks to the right, and it has worked out for the Pirates, trying to find the creation of the extra man over on that far side. Day wants to go short himself, nearly has the option of trying to put Costa away. Striding through, it's just been lost at the last. Nottingham with it on their own line. Just shuffled forwards. as Cornish Pirates look so dangerous once again. Pirates are all fanned out defensively, but Nottingham are pretty tight in order to look for that next platform and allow the box kick, which eventually comes and makes touch on around the 22.
Well, once again, we're seeing this Cornish Pirates team getting the ball going, talented backs, ball inside. Costa goes for the speculator out the back, crowd pleaser, doesn't quite get the same understanding as Caulfield alongside him, but that would have been outstanding. The man that made the turnover initially, setting up for the big man to score, but didn't quite happen. But they've got a wonderful position now to go from inside the 22.
Jumpers from Lauday, they bring it down. Got one Nottingham body on the floor, but now it has really turned into a more than a scrum. Referee's given him one chance to use it, and Alex Day will now do so, and Cargill, and they look to try and come through the hands. Cargill on the wraparound, it didn't quite work. He was the dummy runner, it was Matt Evans who wanted it. Evans just knocked it on. Nottingham's defence doing just enough currently. In the 22. We'll try and find Tiff Eden to make the clearance. Eden currently back behind, while Veenendaal's look to take responsibility. It's just a bit of firefighting currently from Nottingham Rugby.
Yeah, almost a bit of sanctuary there, seaching the touchline just to get a bit of respite, but it is all about the Cornish Pirates at the moment, and Cargill's looking for this lateral play, getting his centre in, squaring people up, looking fluent, looking fast. I think it's a matter of time before they breach the line.
Away again from Lee. Bowling his way through the tackle is skipper Di Battista, now cutting across to the left. Dan Moyle, good scrag of the tackle from the Nottingham skipper Ben Morris. Pirates just caught in putting the men in there to try and secure possession. They have managed to do so though. Day. Oh, that's a nice little offload straight through the middle. Good to see the big man involved in the fast stuff, but again it's just gone forwards, and well, Pirates will be a little bit infuriated with themselves now, because they're building up a real head of steam, and then just little moments of inaccuracy just bringing it to an end.
Never want to critique an offload has been something that isn't a positive, but Matavesi showing the Fijian powerhouse through the middle. And Cargill again, he's just got a plethora of runners outside of him, all too easy now. The 10's just stood there picking them off. Lovely little offload, best offload in rugby off the floor, but I think you've got to give credit there to, again, another centre. Good play for Millett, just getting himself in the way, not just making the tackle, but getting back to his feet to try and stop it. Perhaps a little bit unfortunate not to play on there. It looked a little bit like it may have been his interference rather than the knock-on directly, but once these Cornish Pirates, big men, are running hard on the ball, they're looking pretty powerful and pretty dangerous in the middle.
It's the voice of Rob Vickerman alongside us here, enjoying this round 16 Greene King IPA Championship clash. Nottingham Rugby 3, Cornish Pirates 10. Nottingham securing the victory down at the Mene in October. Talked a fair bit about Alex Day, he scored that day. The Cornish Pirates scrum half. Former Northampton man. Enjoyed a bit of Anglo-Welsh A-League and Premiership success. Good old steam rising from a scrum in February. That's what you've come for, Rob.
Love that, absolutely love it. Warmest place in the whole vicinity right there. Well, maybe not, maybe the air conditioning's pretty blasted in the marquee behind. This is where the players want to be, the hardened position. Actually, in terms of attacking position, also great. You've got, as we mentioned, 3 potential fly halves from this Nottingham backline. Your kicking options are pretty much everywhere on the pitch, and it's a really good attacking option. You basically lose your wingers dropping back deep. You've got your full-back covering the whole backfield. So if this Nottingham team did want to play, they have an overlap on both sides of the scrum.
Ball is in from Wienendahl. It's going to be the pick from Buckley. And then we've seen this from Wienendahl, straight down the centre of the park. Moyle will pick it up. Looks at his options. Little show, but he's lost it forwards, and it'll be tidied up by Furbank. Plays it off to Wienendahl. There might be a bit of space here down the middle, but they've more gone crossfield, and that might present an opportunity for Matt Evans. Kicks straight downfield. Eden was well positioned to take it, and he might get himself under this kick as well. It's going to be a bit more competitive as Day takes it well, manages to just duck out of the tackle, and then it's Cargill who will submit as scrum half. Little shows again. They are running and looking dangerous again. Moyle straight on the shoulder of De Batista that time. Now the ball is back with the skipper. Came a little lazily out of that ruck. The carry from Marlon Walker. Now they look out to the right again. Matavesi gets it on the wraparound. Now they go out to Evans once more. Wants to try and find that touchline, but he's gone over it on the full. And Nottingham's defence doing a decent job enough then to stop Pirates getting that forward roll on and having to opt for other ways of finding territory, which they've not managed to do cleanly.
It's almost a shame the Cornish Pirates are looking to kick it so much, because ball in hand, they're really effective. When they start putting it on the foot, just not quite as cohesive. It's almost like they're giving the ball back a little bit too easily, and then looking for them, Nottingham are giving it back equally as bad. I mean, this is a running game tonight. It doesn't seem like it with the conditions perhaps, but that is how this game's going to be won. The kicks at the moment, not accurate enough. If they're looking for backfield, they need to make the ball bounce, but at the moment, that's the one aspect of this game that's not living up to the standards we usually expect.
Just about ready to continue. Jimmy Stevens gets it to the back of the line at that time. Squeeze comes on from the Nottingham pack. Just a little check-in with the referee from Wienendahl. Now he's told he may have to use it. They are still getting a little bit of go forward though. Now he comes out the back. Eden fires it wide into Scanlon. Scanlon absolutely thundering into the space over on the right-hand side. The cut was perhaps a little bit early from Furbank. But now the ball back inside from Scanlon. Furbank can smell the line. The closest that Nottingham have been all game. Now Furbank's there to play scrum half, away to Cardle. Trying to set up a pot of forwards to go through with Jordan Coughlin. Furbank pops it up onto Wienendahl. Eden gets held up. Pirates defence being sorely tested on the line now. Just a metre short. They flick it out further. Is there going to be a chance at close quarters? No. Perhaps needed to go one more pass, and now they are in. Nottingham get the score. Shane Buckley, the man who crashes over in the corner.
Well, there we are, the crowd well and truly come into it now, Nick, and it is that exact phrase, one more pass. Getting that ball out wide, lovely hands, you can see the flick on there. Furbank, the man to pass it on to the big brute. He barrels over Buckley, but that is all about the deftness of those good hands. Wonderful play, first real attack from Nottingham, and that's the result of it.
Well, it was intriguing how it first began, wasn't it? Because it was that run from Scanlon. Well, I thought for a moment Furbank had cut too early and not kept that option open. But actually he was there then when Scanlon just out the back of the hand, flicked it back in field and kept it alive right into the line. Eden then averages just over 10 points a game. The easiest effort out on the left side. Certainly for a right-footed kicker anyway. He's got it up, but it just drifts in front. So 2 points in it then, with just over half an hour played. Nottingham 8, Cornish Pirates 10.
We're seeing the back end now, rumbling forwards, all came from that really intuitive play off the back of the maul. Typical Irish coach looking at how that could be a platform, but take a look at these hands, this is what it's all about. Wingers, once again, providers. There's a lovely shift off to Duncan, Buckley doing his thing. That's a great team score. I think the Pirates were probably wondering how that happened, because the momentum's well and truly shifted.
Yeah, it certainly has. Shane Buckley was, he started in that win against the Pirates. Played a bit of Ireland under 20s in his time as well. 25 years of age now. It's Nottingham's first try. Do let us know where you're watching, if you're watching on the Rugby Facebook page, or if you've got any questions for us or for our analyst Rob Vickerman, who is with us this evening. Kick is designed to ask the question of Billy Robinson, and the answer to the question is he will be susceptible under that high ball. Made the error.
Interesting tactic there from the line-out, putting the ball back today to do the bomb. I mean, interesting kick, bit of pressure on him, but that should normally be mopped up, you think, there.
Ball is in from Day. Now he's shuttled straight back away from that scrum. Determined for Duncan to do the work for him. Well, first mistake was from Moyle. Oh, sorry, was Costa, who just let it go backwards to Batista to straighten it and tidy it up. They now looking to the right. Matavesi, signed in December from Redruth, the Fijian. And putting a little bit more depth on it now, Pirates. It's how they found their advantages in the first exchanges over the first quarter of the game, and then Alex Day right on the mark to have the conversation with the referee, as all scrum halves will do, to earn the penalty.
Once again, just controlling the tempo there, ball in hand, he knows exactly what's happening. It was a really big phase of play there to try and stay down in the Nottingham territory, and as a result get the penalty from a bit of that squeeze on. Matavesi again carrying hard. I'm loving Di Battista, the captain with the beard in the centre. You can almost hear the family cheering from Argentina, as they always tend to do. Very passionate players, very passionate people. His connection with Alberto Di Bernardo, one of the Cornish Pirates legends from back in the day, brought him across from Rosario. So great to see Di Battista doing his thing in this country.
Possibly the best anthem in world rugby as well, I think, the Argentinian anthem. You get a whole aria before anyone starts singing.
You always get a few tears as well.
Yeah. So similar range earlier. Cargill was a little wide to the right, hooked it slightly, and perhaps a little short. So seemingly at the edge of his range, he'll be hoping he can catch this one a little more cleanly. Sets it on its way. Certainly got through it a little better that time, and the accuracy not improved.
A little bit of a pressure on there as well. These types of kicks, you could easily go to the corner there, really squeeze it, get 5 metres away from their try line, and certainly with Paver their coach on board, you'd expect him to have a really decent driving line out. So a little bit of a shock there. Keeps missing these kicks from that distance. He will not be allowed to take them for much longer.
From the 22. Moyle on the receive. Tackle in from Jimmy Stevens. Now they come to the left again. Solid up front work from the Cornish Pirates. Combination of Walker and Judge making the hard yards when they needed them to. Cargill goes high, inviting Robertson onto it. Veenendaal, little shorter ball this time, looking for the Nottingham forwards to punch that hole. Veenendaal with a quick look again, gets a buttock to his face while he's in the process of it. Now then, this is a competitive moment. Harry Strong has to do really well under that ball. It's his first appearance off the bench after 2 starts this season. And he was solid there under plenty of pressure. Now the counter-ruck's coming through, and well, Alex Day didn't get the ball away quick enough, and as a result, Nottingham get the scrum.
Well, Day barking out orders. He didn't realise that his centre, Costa, was over the ball. 3 Nottingham players came in and absolutely smashed it. You see him bridging it, trying a bit of leverage, holding the shirt, trying to make sure that he's nice and strong, but you're not going to be able to ride these collisions coming in here. Lyons getting stuck in, and Coughlin, who's an absolute mad mountain. You are not going to stop those men barreling through, and as a result, great play from Nottingham. They get the ball. Let's see what they've got from here.
Yeah, really good work. Sensing the opportunity to get the counter-ruck, and it certainly caught Alex Day a little unawares. After that strong start from the Pirates, we have felt that momentum start to shift back towards Nottingham, and those little moments continue to just create that sense. Veenendaal at the back with the try scorer. Buckley just gives it to him like it's a very tender, freshly baked cake into his hands there. But the ball is loose and on the floor. Did it go backwards? Referee happy enough that it has. Veenendaal is there. Coughlin waiting as well, but the carry will be from Cardle. Driven back slightly, but able to present it. Pirates just straying a little on the wrong side, but referee happy enough. Eden got the call back on the inside from the youngster Will Millett. Into the side in one of those changes this week, but now Pirates are getting themselves involved and crossing the line as far as the referee's concerned. And it's a penalty to Nottingham, and what a chance from here, unless Eden fancies a shot at the sticks, to take this one down that far touchline and just apply a bit more pressure in these last few moments of the first half.
Really aggressive defence coming in from the Pirates. They're looking to try and shut them down. The outside man leading the line forward. With that, it is a very confrontational type of defence, and referee there deeming that the ball was slapped down. Often the reason that fights start in training, Nick. Or in your touch game, I guess.
It's a very physical game, Rob.
You get a mental sweat on.
Yes. Nottingham with the line. Go for the jump with Cardle. Been with the club a year, studied at Nottingham Trent University. The second row in there with Alex Moon. They're trying to go forward, but the Pirates have currently put the doorstop down. And Veenendaal is going to be told to use it before long. Flicks out to the South African scrum half. Cornish Pirates line speed up into that hit was huge. Veenendaal again. These one-off runners who are flat-footed are not making many yards for Nottingham. Needs a little bit more dynamism, or to just change that point of attack perhaps a little more often than they are. Now it's back in for Stevens. There's someone with him, but almost gets isolated there. Turnover was nearly effective for the Pirates. Now Eden just holds it up a moment. That was good to try and put Millett through the hole. Now they go again the same way. Eden again. That's a good offload for Scanlon. Scanlon back in field. Oh, it was knocked down. Could this be more than just a penalty? Referee is going to play the advantage here. We might see a yellow card possibly right on the stroke of half-time. And there's a bit of an incident off the ball involving Cardle. Referee's blowing the whistle here as it just begins to bubble over. Well, referee happy enough that it was just a knock-on, doesn't want things to get overcooked, and blows the half-time whistle. So Nottingham coming back into it after the early score from Cornish Pirates. De Batista getting over in the corner. But on a chilly Friday night, the temperature is rising very nicely in this one, in round 16 of the Greene King IPA Championship. It's Nottingham Rugby 8, Cornish Pirates 10 at the break. And Rob Vickerman, here is a chance to see, well, Little Bo Peep and her many sheep.
Who gives the stag a cane? That's not a good idea.
Yeah, not allowed to be in charge of his own antics, surely. They're being led on or allowed onto the field. There are several sheep over there. Oh, there we are. Your thoughts on that first 40?
Well, I think it's all about Cornish Pirates. I mean, a little bit of life shown into Nottingham at the end there, but really was about a case of when the Cornish Pirates are going to break the line. You saw their power runners through the middle. Cargo's having an absolute armchair ride. Days providing wonderful ball. Got to put comment on the 2 missed penalties. At the time where you are building pressure, you are building a bit of ascendancy. You need the scoreboard to keep ticking over, and the 2 misses from Cargill just meant that it gave Nottingham the chance to come back into it. And as a result, we saw at the end there just how good they can be with ball in hand. But ultimately, Cornish Pirates looking defensively very aggressive with their line speed press, and in attack looking very comfortable making yards. So I think it'd be a case of how Nottingham try and combat that second half. That's definitely going to come through.
Well, excuse me, hopefully we can bring you then some highlights of the first half. As you are just joining us on championshiprugby.co.uk and on the England Rugby Facebook page, this is how the first try went down from the Pirates.
You see wonderful interlinking play there. Both occasions we see the tries for in this game, it's the wingers who have been creating the ball out wide. You can see here Moyle just getting in behind, and Evans there with a lovely flick on, giving the ball to the Argentinian skipper De Batista to do his damage out wide, and tucked in behind. This is what we're saying about Cahill having the arm right. He's got these runners all over the shop with the left foot, right foot step, got them at the outside of Millet, not used to defending in the outside channel, and that's what can happen. And that was in what, the first 3 minutes. Incredible. Then pretty much in the last 5 minutes of the half, again showing how dangerous these teams can be in the opposing 22. Ball shift across, Viandal pulling the strings, giving out to the big men, making yards all too easy there. The Pirates defence under a lot of stress, shift the ball out, and once again wonderful hands. We're seeing fruition of the try, that little extra ball, exploiting that extra defender. That's Dunk. There's Buckley crashing over for the score here.
Conversion attempt from Eden didn't quite get across, so that left Nottingham 2 points adrift, but certainly they did well to get themselves back into it. Given how well Cornish Pirates started the game, there wasn't too much panic from Nottingham. Just took them a while to sort of get the game plan, get that foothold in the game. Now here we go, the sheep are having a go. That was absolutely woeful. He'll be on the plate for Sunday roast. If you'd like to see people with slightly better skills, well, much better skills, then, well, we've got a double header for you, because Friday the 16th of March at the Ricoh Arena in Coventry, you can come and support the England teams. England's women against Ireland women in the Women's Six Nations. That a 5:30 kickoff at the Ricoh Arena, followed by the under-20s game at 8 o'clock. If you would like to come along, then you need to get to eticketing.co.uk/Ricoh Arena. That is the England women and under-20s double-header, England against Ireland on the eve of St Patrick's weekend. Will England be vying for the Grand Slam by then? Of course, they've got to take on Scotland and France in the meantime. That will round off the campaign. Could be a very, very memorable evening for both sides. eticketing.co.uk/even Ricoh Arena. So you may have seen some of our films for the Inside Champ Rugby series, and well, this is another nice one if you've not seen it. It's a chance to check in with the Buller Macau brothers, Andy Jr. and Seva, and we can hear what it's like for them as a rugby playing family.
It's rare that you see a family, especially brothers, playing in one team. It just makes the whole day just better, just seeing my brothers.
We're just all here together, and it's just amazing.
For me, obviously getting goosebumps thinking back when we were in school, in primary school, in high school, when we used to play together. But we never imagined or dreamed about being in the same team or playing together. Me coming down Doncaster and we were both playing together and training has brought us stronger together. I'm a family man, I've got 2 kids myself and my wife, and I want everyone just to be all together. So being only 5 minutes drive away from my brother, it's a bonus for me and a tick in the box for me, which I won't regret in life. It's a normal basic thing in life that you learn from each other. It doesn't matter what age you are or how young or old you are. I want to improve myself as a person, as a rugby player. If I can learn from my little brother, then he can inspire me to do something different.
They teach me loads of things. Junior got me into the academy. Andy was the most experienced he had at Donny, so he knows all the drills, he knows everything else. I know I'm tall, I know I'm big, I'm taller than both of them, but the heart of the game, everything else, they're tougher than me. And they always tell me I'm like a big friendly giant. Our first pre-season game was the first game we played together, and obviously playing together was like special. How the day went, it was something different to how it would normally be. Amazing just to be having the atmosphere all around as well, with the fans and everyone else knowing the Bull Macau as well.
It's always a dream of me to play with Andy because I've had a chance to play with my dad, and coming down here I was wanting to achieve that, to play with all my brothers and my dad. So I enjoyed every single minute, second of that game. Line breaks or scoring a try, I was just happy because you only get to do this once and you only live once, so enjoy the moment. I got admit, Nottingham game, I did kind of lose my temper a little bit when he did something pretty, just the basic, like it didn't pay off, and I just kind of lost my head. I like that kind of thing because I want to improve as a player, as a person, so if someone's telling me the wrong thing, I'm not taking board. It's a good thing to have him there shouting at me. He's not done anything wrong at all, so it's all good. Now I'm waiting for my turn. You rarely see 3 brothers having a first team shot in one team and playing together. Tell our kids and our grandkids, like, yeah, we did play together. That's something I'm going to cherish for the rest of my life. The one thing that is the best thing is just seeing his face every morning, because I've not seen that for like the last 10 years when I was up in Scotland, when he moved down to England. So having my brother to be there alongside me, just guiding me along, it just meant a lot.
It's been amazing just having them as role models, giving me the extra step, giving me the extra motivation to become a better player, a better athlete, and a better person on the field and off the field.
Well, a lovely little piece there with the Bull of Macau. You knew their dad, or you loved their dad?
I actually played against their dad, showing my age here, but Bull Macau was an absolute hero for me. He used to play the army, one of the fine Fijians there, so great to see that his sons have obviously kept the spirit going. The name is pretty strong, and I know Junior was a Scottish Sevens international as well, so they're a really good set of lads and actually great people, and that's what you want to see in the Championship, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly is. You guys have been keeping in touch with us on the England Rugby Facebook page, and we have had a question. Michael Beresford wants to know, Mr. Vickerman, watching the first club game under new rules, our season starts in April, so I'm guessing he's somewhere else in the world, but what's the most effect on the game that you've seen since the new laws? So what law has had sort of most effect?
I'll try and keep an eye on him throughout the game as well. The biggest thing is about the tackle breakdown situation. So as previously, if there was a tackle, you would have to release and then you could compete, whereas now there is an offside line, so the players have to retreat to the back foot, the hindmost foot, as the referees declare. So it's pretty big, certainly in the game of sevens, but it's creeping into the 15s as well. Other than that, from the scrums, quite a clear thing that players can pick the ball now out of the second row's feet. That's going to be a big thing, certainly in some of the Southern Hemisphere rugby, with slightly better pitches than this, perhaps. It's one of those things just to try and keep the game fast and not about reset scrums. And obviously, when the scrums we mentioned, the scrum halves need to put the ball in level, which obviously should be done anyway, really.
Yeah. Well, while we've got you here, we should just mention the Sevens. You've obviously been keeping in touch with that. Have you been liking the look of England over the series so far?
Yeah, a bit of a tough time for England on the World Series, both men and women. So the women in particular have been putting their focus back onto the world of sevens. So you expect them to do well. However, it's not been happening. They've found themselves in some really tough pools and finished 9th out in Sydney. So not really good enough from their point of view. And the men also struggling.
They had a belter of a game against the USA, but then it just sort of fell apart after that, didn't it?
Did, yeah. I mean, it talk too much about sevens in the world of 15s, but it was frustrating to see how good they can be at times, but not having that ability to perform throughout the whole weekend. And it's so up and down, the game of sevens. It's emotional, it's very fatiguing, and it's difficult at times to get yourself up for those games when they're really, really difficult against the bigger nations.
Yeah, well, good to get your thoughts and catch up on it anyway. It is, of course, 15, which is why we're here. Championship Rugby. We've had a message there from Debbie Killingback. Thank you for covering this match. Well, you're very welcome. We're delighted to be here, and hopefully we're bringing you the game while you're nicely in the warm somewhere, because these are the rest of the games that are coming up this weekend. Of course, Jersey Reds are playing Ealing tonight, and then tomorrow Doncaster Knights playing Hartpury College. Then it's bottom of the table against top of the table, London Scottish in 11th against Bristol Rugby. Rotherham Titans, they are at the bottom against Bedford Blues, and then on Sunday it's Carnegie against Richmond, 3rd taking on 7th. But it's 8th against 9th that is holding our attention so far this evening. And in fact, I'm just getting a score in my ear of the it's 27, sorry, Jersey 7, Ealing 21. Jersey 7, Ealing 21. Well, there we go. Ealing showing their power in 2nd place in the table. Ian Costello, of course, is one of the men off to Wasps, as we just see, actually, while I mention his name, Alan Paver, who is looking after things for the Pirates this evening, alongside Gavin Cattle, of course, who is just on the far side of him. Great character of the game. These two, of course, still registered as players, Rob.
Yeah, I did ask the question before the game, actually, how long till you guys are going on? And they were down to their 6th hooker, the Cornish Pirates, and Pave still didn't put his boots on to play. So I expect to see perhaps Gavin Cattle been in there before Pave does. But great that these are ex-players of the region. They've been adopted as Cornish men, and they're co-coaches, which I love the idea of, about equality and making sure that forwards and backs are both represented and more of a strategic level. So they've got a lot of difficulties logistically. This team have to travel every other week a long old way, so they've got their own difficulties. But I think it's a great team, a great outfit, and if they do get the stadium through, find the £6 million of public funding, then it will be a hell of a place to play.
Just while we wait for the teams to come out then, another quick question from Facebook. Colin Smedley asking, do you think we should stream more championship games that show a bit more of the grassroots stuff?
Well, I absolutely agree. I mean, I think the best thing about this broadcast is it's going worldwide. You know, when you're watching Premiership and domestic rugby, it is geo-blocked. You can only look in a certain region. Certainly, even like the BBC website, you wouldn't be able to get outside of Europe. So this is well and truly a worldwide product.
This is where you should be.
Exactly that. And, you know, the formality of it, being able to interact and ask questions, I think is a wonderful and actually way the world is going now, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, more the merrier. And if you're not enjoying it on the sofa, this is where you could be watching it.
Yeah, you could be here in person, obviously, enjoying the antics of these fools who are clearly having a lovely time. I mean, you know, we may branch out into live streaming this as a regular thing if you really like it. So do leave your comments on Facebook. It could be live Bo Peep and Sheep antics. Let's just hope our director is on standby to cut at any moment. This becomes more than a PG experience. She's so pretty, isn't she?
Stag do's are a global thing, aren't they? It's not just the UK that make themselves look a little bit idiotic in situations like this.
They are having a lovely time. We've got another question from Jan Oates. Does Rob believe more money should be filtered down to the Championship so that sides can keep producing Premiership standard players? I mean, there is always the funding issue with the Tier 2s, isn't there?
Yeah, and how long have we gotten that? It's a really big issue, and certainly speaking to the coaches beforehand, it is a prominent issue. You get a little bit disparity in the Championship. We can't get away from that. If you're relegated from the Premiership, you get a sizable parachute payment, meaning the likes of Bristol's, certainly the teams that are coming down with some serious money, are in a different position to the teams at the bottom of the league, and you can't get away from that. But ultimately, it's providing great quality of players. You only have to watch the Six Nations to see how many players have come through this Championship level, and that's what we really have to champion.
Yeah, well, we've heard obviously with Tiff Eden potentially going to Bristol next season. Bristol looking a decent prospect, as we know, to going up to the Premiership, and you know, yeah, as you say, it's a great shop window for some of these young lads. Plenty more messages coming through the Facebook page then. Emma Blackmore shouting, "Come on Pirates." It was a great start for the Cornish Pirates, going coming in with that try at the start of the game. If you're just joining our coverage, there's just 2 points between the sides. Nottingham on 8 and Cornish Pirates on 10. As I just look behind me, well, the players are obviously decided to stay in the sheds just for a couple of minutes longer. It is a chilly evening here in Nottingham at Lady Bay. But what will be the game plan for Nottingham? It took them a while to find their pattern in that first half and to eventually sort of settle into the game after that lightning start from Cornish Pirates. What will Ian Costello be saying to them at the break?
Well, I think ultimately they come into this with a real definite plan, and the plan didn't work for the first 30 minutes, so you have to have the ability to adjust. I think they've started with 3 fly halves, I keep saying that, but if you have that power of possession and kicking tactic, then you can use it in a very different way. I think they need to play a little bit more with the fast ball that we've seen with the Cornish Pirates, that this Nottingham team can attack. They've got some great line breakers, and certainly with Scanlon getting the ball out wide, looks very dangerous. Nottingham need to just get the ball and keep the ball. Similarly, the Cornish team need to make sure they're doing more of the same. Their defence is looking outstanding. They're very aggressive in how they're coming forward. For them, they are happy when Nottingham got the ball because they're not really going anywhere. So very much a case of Nottingham trying to quell this very powerful Pirates outfit.
Well, that's the voice of Rob Vickerman, giving us his thoughts on this evening's round 16 Greene King IPA Championship clash, and the second half about to get underway. Tiff Eden for Nottingham, playing from right to left as we look in the green and whites, of course, of the East Midlands. And De Batista is straight in and into the action. No doubt the words from Alan Paver and Gavin Cattle at the break were more of the same. Certainly they'd like a start to the second half like they managed to get in the first. That ball has stayed pretty high, but it has ultimately allowed Scanlon a fair amount of time underneath it to size up his options and get the legs running. Veenendahl was talking midweek about last week's loss being a bitter pill to swallow, that loss to Hartpury. They will be really keen to get home and back into the swing of things. Eden thinks he might have just spotted a bit of room here at the back. Day, a little show. Now he goes again. Turnover ball, but I'm not entirely sure it was done so legally. There was the ball kicking through, but I believe we can speak to one of the Cornish coaches. Alan Paver is joining us. Alan, I hope you can hear us. You came out of the blocks pretty well in the first half, but Nottingham coming back into it. I guess you probably want the boys to restart the second half as you started the first.
Absolutely. You know, we started that first half with a lot of energy. I did feel we deserved a little bit more out of that half, but it wasn't meant to be, and now we're in an arm wrestle. So we're looking for the same amount of energy, but we're just going to try and play a little bit more territory, do the simple things well, and see if we can play in the right areas of the pitch.
You mentioned energy there, Paves. The case of having the week off really benefiting you here?
I think so, massively. The boys look pretty hungry, so you know, if we can keep that for the full 80-85 minutes, I think we're in with a shout.
Thanks, Alan. Appreciate your time.
Cheers, thank you.
Nottingham with possession. They shoot it back to Eden. Nottingham keep hold of possession as well through on the far side. Nicely done. Certainly looking a little bit more assured on it. Picking up where they left off, Nottingham. They grew into the game in that first half. They keep it alive, just getting over the halfway line now. Ball chopped back in field. They're getting the support lines getting in just in time. Support players. Ball is a little slower now for Veenendahl. In fact, they're going to get the penalty. Referee having no patience for the men on the floor.
But one really subtle change of how this Nottingham team have come into the second half, and the lines are running. They started to establish in the late first half, if they run back against this blitz defence that are coming from out to win, they find a lot more opportunity, a lot more deception and offload opportunity as well. So expect to see some big hard lines going back against the ball from Nottingham, and that man with the ball there, he will certainly be leading the Morris, the stout Yorkshireman. He's one of these guys that likes to be abrasive. He'll run back at the ball, and look at the control of the man. He really is showing these leadership capabilities. I like the look of it.
Yeah, joined from Newcastle Falcons in 2015, Ben Morris. Skippering the side tonight on his 64th club appearance. Eden wants to try and nudge as many yards as he can into that corner, and he's done pretty well.
That's a class kick. You get the love and support of your forwards looking down and you're thinking, you've just put us in a great position here. To get those extra few metres to mean that the Cornish Pirates are now on their try line makes a massive psychological benefit for this Nottingham team with a decent set piece.
Ball's in from Stevens. Jump is from the skipper, Morris. How they'd love this to be a very positive start to the second half. They're trying to smuggle that ball back, Nottingham. Cornish Pirates getting themselves involved in slowing it down illegally. And Eden is going to pop to the corner and get his forwards even closer.
The referee there dictating that it was pulled down illegally. You have a very, very quick window to try and get the player with the ball down to the ground. You can see when the people are jumping, the Pirates opting not to compete against it occasionally, so trying to sack it as fast as possible.
They go to the front again. The sack wasn't as successful. It was Morris who got hold of it, and there it is at the back, and they're trying to get a bit of go forward, but the counter drive from the Pirates was excellent, and now Nottingham are going to have to try and do their best with the scraps. Carry is from Moon. Places it back for Veenendaal. Now they go a little bit wider, but Millett couldn't hold it. Knocked forwards from Nottingham. And the Pirates will have a bit of loose ball here. Not held in the tackle, so straight to his feet and regathers. Knock-on advantage being played. Good old support from the Pirates fans you can hear around the Lady Bay stands.
Best chant in World Rugby, that, Nick. I'll put it out there. Give us a P, give us an I, give us an R.
It doesn't go on any more than that, does
That's
it?
it, no.
They'll have had a long journey up. Nottingham will be determined to make it a long journey back, but they are still behind on the scoreboard. Plenty of time left. Again, going to Morris. Target man at the front for safety. Millett, good line, just cutting in slightly to the left. Played a bit of rugby in the Wasps A-League. Eden. Furbank coming in. Not the biggest of men, but certainly quick enough when he can be found into space. Helped get Nottingham close enough to set up for that first try.
And he's running the exact lines, Nick. That's exactly what we need to see. Back at the ball. If this defence is coming up so quick as it is, it's very difficult to defend your inside shoulder.
Little spill from Eden. I think it went forwards off him second time, says the referee. It was back initially, but then it went forwards. And Cornish Pirates will have the scrum. That perhaps a decent reward for the Pirates after getting the defence right in the Nottingham faces. You can just see it went backwards first and then it's forwards.
And that's what you get with this aggressive type of defence. You get your fly halves and scrum halves looking at where the defenders are coming from rather than going through the motions of their attack. So great fruition, good to see the support come through. Big celebrations as a result of it. And the Pirates now with ball in hand.
New man onto the field, Josh Poulet. 19-year-old has taken his place in the back row for his 16th league appearance. He was on the bench in that game against Pirates in October. And Shane Buckley has made way. Waits at the back. Nottingham getting a shove on, asking some questions. Day to Batista. Cargill was on the run around it, never got that far. Day, then they go for the long wider ball. Shorter pop pass from Day that time. Cargill awaits, gets it all, and then the little juggler in midfield. Nottingham sensing it as a chance to try and get forward and effect the turnover, but then Pirates are trying to profit and come straight through. Solid work from Tom Duncan. Now they sense a chance down the short side on that far side. Veenendaal going in to add his pressure to try and stop the tackle. Away from Day again. Coughlin getting in there. Cargill. Good angle from Christian Judge. Chip over the top from Cargill. The race is on. De Batista's putting pressure on. Scanlon manages to just fall through the tackle and fall through the hole, but well, it looked momentarily like it might come back on the Pirates side, but Jimmy Stevens has got straight in there to tidy it up and go route one in order to do so. It's away from Nottingham again. Veenendaal. You immediately sense the difference in tempos of service from the 2-9s, don't you?
Yeah, and no one competes at the breakdowns from the Pirates, so everyone on their feet really putting pressure on.
Going forward is strong. Into the tackle, Millett there. Plenty of numbers from Nottingham trying to get that turnover, but as Rob Vickerman says, Pirates savvy as to when to pile the numbers in and when not to. Then Matavesi plays it out the back. And Matavesi with the carry around the corner. Nottingham have got to be careful defensively around the fringes. It's where Pirates are going to try and pick them off. Day again, fires it. Cargill, strong, straightening. Good line from him. Day again, looking at the options to the right. De Batista was on the bench in October in that loss. Already got himself on the score sheet, the former under-19, under-20s Puma. Now the chip over the top, varying it a little from Day, wanting to just turn Sean Scanlon and Nottingham back towards their own try line, but there was a penalty advantage. Tim Wigglesworth with the arm up before the Pirates. They're just turning the screw again, the visitors.
They are, and it all comes through Day. I'm so impressed with how he plays the game. You just got to look at his work rate. He is doing width after width. The passes are still accurate, and it means Kyle, the man that's looking the best, is having this armchair ride because the ball is on a pedestal for him. It really is classic scrum half play in a very aggressive type of game.
Keeping things ticking over for Cornish Pirates. Alex Day. Matavesi's throw taken down. There's an advantage being played here as well to the Pirates. There was a momentary arm out from referee Wigglesworth. Oh, and they're trying to break around the shorter side. Suddenly Nottingham have to panic and get the numbers back there, but the ball is over and the referee's arm is up. Pirates get the try. Matt Evans the scorer.
Well, pretty amazing that, isn't it, that you can get a winger involving themselves in a driving maul, and that's the reason why. But De Batista also in there, Day barking out the orders as he spins around, the winger's eye for the line. You wouldn't think a winger would find his way from a position such as that to the back of the maul, but that's great play. Matavesi giving him a guiding arm, and the Canadian powerhouse, the old man of the team at 30, which is not that old, showing he's not just about the fancy stuff out wide. He set one up in the first half with lovely hands, and he gets to score on the back of the driving maul.
Yeah, made over 100 appearances for the club. His 100th appearance was, well, just his second game back, having been out for most of last season, a 12-month layoff. And indeed, as you said, he was shown the way by the forwards. What are you doing in here, right winger? Here's the line. Fall over it over there, please. Cargill adds the extras. Cornish Pirates assert a bit more authority on the game. We saw it from them in the first half, and now they're doing it second half.
Yeah, exactly as Alan Paver said, he thought they'd come away from that first half with more, and that's a result of the hard work from the forwards. And you've got to give a little bit of credit to a back stick in his face somewhere where he perhaps isn't that used to.
Come out in a rash. Where am I? Eden with the restart. Nottingham have got to go after this game now, and they know it. Just over 25 minutes remaining of the match. Nottingham 8, Cornish Pirates 17 now. Between Day and Cargill now, of course, it is going to be about game management. Certainly they will seize any opportunity for further scores, but a bit of game management will be key from them in terms of taking this 9-point lead and getting the result over the line. Nottingham will have words to say about that, of course, as the ball is spun away. Murray McConnell is onto the field, the replacement scrum half, Scottish man. There, pinging it away for Eden, and that's a nice little run from Scanlon around the back. It was just spotted at the last from Dan Costa, and the ball's just gone forwards.
So important when you're employing that type of defence that your 13 is leading everything about it. The out-to-in defence means the corner of it is always the outside defender, and he read that beautifully there. Shutting up shot, getting the shot in and getting the turnover ultimately, and not for the first time. He's equally as good without the ball as he is with it, Costa. A little bit more steam coming out now, Nick, after the first half.
Yeah,
you can see these guys really feeling the strain of this game. It is played at quite a pace, I've got to say. And we're seeing now here that interjection. Okay, he made the shot. He went in to try and shut it down, but because Costa read it, the offload for Morris wasn't as dangerous as it could have been. Really savvy defence.
More changes look to be made. Day was looking for it on the short side, but they've actually broken through Duncan back into open field. And now Day will follow on and feed them as they come round the corner, and this is where the Pirates have looked so dangerous. And they make another decent 15 metres, keeping the ball alive as well. McConnell just serves to be a bit of a road bump. Day off to the right, Cargill looking then to try and put pressure on in that corner, but that's a really good recovery from Furbank over on the right wing, getting back just in time to get his hands on that ball over the top where Cargill thought there would have been a chance. Now McConnell, up into the air, just knocked it up. Now is it on for Nottingham? Eden feeds it out wide, trying to isolate the last defender. Coughlin, he's not going to be the quickest man on the wing, but that's decent enough feet from the open side. Now it's away from Scanlon, then Ben Morris, McConnell again. And then it's just been knocked forwards in the middle. Was it Poulet? Just quite couldn't hold on to it.
Good play from Nottingham, getting that continuity of attack, but again it comes down to the comfortable nature of this Pirates defence. So adept in midfield now, they're identifying these runners running at different angles and getting shots on them, and when you've got that, you're putting pressure back onto the attack, and if you're playing flat and not as accurate as you need to be, that's where the knock-ons come.
Well, the changes are starting to be made by Nottingham in no uncertain terms. I almost wondered in a moment when McConnell took the high pass as to whether his colleague was in front of him, just as he makes the catch and it sort of bobbles forwards. Well, he touches it and then he ends up in front of the ball, so it's made it look perfectly good.
Yeah, Eden spotted opportunity, giving the ball across now. Great power running, ball in two hands, coaches worldwide, make note of that. The big man showing that he's not just about the hard graft, the breakdown. He gets a good 20 yards of pace there, beating the inside defenders, but then it's when this defence becomes on top. No one competing in the breakdown again. It means there's men on their feet, forwards are shifting round the corner, three defenders square in front, waiting all day. You play flat, you got to catch it, they don't. It's good defence. Another mark positive for the Pirates.
Ball's in from Day. McConnell sensing a chance to strike at the back, but then they do get it away under plenty of pressure. Ball's gone out on the full though. We talk about defensive pressure on the one side from Pirates, and then Nottingham apply it themselves.
Yeah, Day wanted to go blind side, which is a fair tactic. It means the winger has to come up, but then you've got to hit the field in behind. Ball out on the full means it's a line out all the way back from where the man kicked it from, and that is great opportunity now for this Nottingham team, who've been pressing now for around about 5 minutes.
Seen a couple of shots of Aniseko Sio waiting to make his impact, but not quite putting him on yet. Costello, McConnell, and Poulet. Eden just beginning to pop up in the right places a little more. Tiff Eden. Robinson on the carry. McConnell going in to support Morris, who went for the quick pick and go, the blindside flank on that time. McConnell. And again, Eden goes for the missed pass into Poulet in the middle, but Pirates in there affecting the turnover. That's brilliant work. First man in. Absolutely exceptional. And where Nottingham were too slow to get the men in, Robinson having to come back, absolutely herring through Nick Coronel, Alex Day. Decent pace of the game at this stage. McConnell looks to the left of Poulet, but opts away from it, and then Eden sized up a kick but decided to keep it ball in hand, and they make a few metres and maintain possession. Just as I say that, the ball's been pushed into touch, the flag's gone up. I think the players might have thought they'd kept it alive back in field, but referee Wigglesworth will agree with his assistant and will have the line out.
Well, fair bit to reflect on there, Nick, but what a turnover. Matavesi in the midfield, the big Fijian hooker, is a name well known in those parts, but also more domestically for his brother's efforts. Really good turnover. The clearance kick not quite as accurate again as we mentioned it needed to be, giving the ball back to Nottingham, but once again it was this defensive capability, I guess, of the Pirates really just saying, what have you got, Nottingham? I'll absorb what it is, and then we'll get you near the touchline and we'll just power you over it. Really good play from the defence.
Yeah, Matavesi's well known in Cornwall after the family's arrival in the 80s. Josh and Joel, well-known characters. Dad, Sir Rayleigh Matavesi. Sam, of course, joined the Navy last year. Solid work on that turnover, but for all the huffing and puffing from both sides, we've ended up still in the middle of the park. Pirates, of course, still with that lead as well. Furbank takes that well in the air. Driven backwards, the 21-year-old, but holds on to it. McConnell. There is pressure coming around that breakdown, but the guards doing their job decently that time. Now, Seko Sio is onto the field and called in to guard McConnell again. Box skip goes up. Just about 10 metres in that one, but well, there wasn't too much challenge from Nottingham, and it was brilliantly read by Furbank, who went up and secured it, and that's worked well for Nottingham. Now McConnell is there. Eden, they've got a bit of go forward here. Coughlin, nice little delay of the pass to Alex Moon. McConnell again. Eden looks to the outside. Now the shorter run from Scanlon, looking for the offload, finds Millett. Millett is a strong square character in that outside centre, perhaps more of a 12 than a 13. He was on the wing last week, and then Eden again rolls through the tackle, and all of a sudden Cornish Pirates are having to get back and defend whilst getting back in line. Jimmy Stevens, speaking to Neil Fouts before the game, he said Stevens was looking in good shape ahead of this one. McConnell, there's a penalty advantage, I think. There it is, the blow from the referee, but a really good spell from Nottingham.
Really good effort, and the two men lying down having the most impact there. Fantastic play, Jimmy Stevens, you mentioned there. But also Ben Morris, the captain, picking and going through the middle. If they're not competing the breakdown, the space is often through the middle of it. You keep picking and going, you can see opportunity coming from around it. The defence has to readjust, and as a result, you infringe. Really good play by Nottingham. Last 2 or 3 minutes, been all the more savvy, picking those lines, running those support lines, getting the offloads, and that's where you can end up now in a great position to try and capitalise on this position.
And it's right for Ben Morris to ask those questions, because we've not seen Cornish Pirates defending the breakdown every time, have we? So by doing so and going through the middle there, he makes them have to commit defenders.
The other thing I really liked about it is playing flat. He's taking 2 little steps with the ball, which holds up the defence, which means that the defenders will stop in front of you. If you get your play on your right, then running that short line back against it, that's where you create that half break, the little offload that gets them in behind the defence. Really clever attack. It's finally starting to work for this Nottingham team.
It's a big moment this for the home side. If they're to make an assault on the scoreboard and onto Cornish Pirates' lead, they've set that up pretty well. You get the go forward, but the touchline might win in the end. Pirates have done well, but well, in fact the referee's arm is up for the penalty, so Nottingham will get a chance to do it again. And now De Batista is being called over, and I think that is well, you don't need to be able to hear the referee to be able to see a signal that says one over there, one over here, and one over here. It's probably warning time with cards in mind.
Exactly the same infringement. The players must sack the player, and by sacking him, get them to the floor as soon as they catch it. There, Cofield just waited an extra 2 or 3 seconds, which meant that it was then illegal. It was not allowed. So as soon as they catch it, you're allowed to put them to the floor. Otherwise, you have to let them stay on their feet.
Option is to the back this time, and they get it down initially into the hands of Matt Everard. Now they get the drive on. Is it Everard or Stevens who are in there? The referee's happy enough. The try's been scored, no matter who it was. Nottingham gets a try, their second of the game. Pirates getting a little overexcited. I think it may be Jimmy Stevens who the ball was eventually given to for the try.
Really good attacking line out. You can see all the Pirates want to do is try and spin them towards the touchline. Nottingham conversely want to try and spin open. If they spin open, very difficult to try and stop this. Fragmented more going forward, all too easy in that situation for Nottingham. They're really good, solid forward play. Using that wheel, get him in the right position. You can see Buki Boom there, not happy. The fact they've just been scored on the line out, and rightly so.
So a key 2 points here to take it down to a 2-point game. To Eden to add the conversion. No problem at all. So Jimmy Stevens' second try of the season, over 60 appearances for the club, and a key score that is added to by Eden to make it a 2-point game. It's Nottingham Rugby 15, Cornish Pirates 17, and the last 15 minutes promises to be engrossing. So more changes made. Lawrence May with the restart this time for the Pirates. His 9th appearance for the bench was registered with the Chiefs a couple of seasons ago, but been firmly in the Pirates stable since. 102 points this season, over 500 for the club. He also featured in that loss at the Mene to Nottingham in October. This game could go either way. Day with the flick. May continues the ball's passage out to that far side. Then they're looking back in field. May again. Looking high. Oh, Eden with a little juggle, but he has held on to it. McConnell now out for Scanlon. Wants to just try and get over the head of the last line of defence, but hasn't quite worked out. Ball is kicked back downfield. Lawrence May gives chase. Scanlon puts it up high. Irishman's done really well to win that in the air. Former Rotherham man who joined last summer. Shown some aerial dexterity through the course of this game. McConnell waits. CEO perhaps went in a little too upright into that tackle. And there is a penalty coming. It's gone against Josh Caulfield.
Indiscipline's a real factor of this last 20 minutes, and it's been a bit of an Achilles heel for this Pirates team. Certainly the last 5 or 10, just giving opportunity to the Nottingham team to get this line out. It's clearly a weapon for them. Eden's no doubt going to put them right in position with this lovely cultured right boot.
It's been kept in field. Back down the throat of McConnell into Scanlon. Now they look to the right. Furbank wants to get those legs going. It was a good tackle on the outside. Coughlin through Eden once again. It's a real tussle for this one on the floor, but McConnell gets it. Now they go a little deeper. Scanlon just coming into the game a little bit more. Joe Cobden also on now for the Pirates in the number 22 shirt, the 26-year-old making his 60th appearance for the club. Oh, Eden, he's tried to chip through there and he was taken out, and the referee agrees that he was. Player coming across his path impeded him, and they'll get a penalty where the ball landed.
Well, there's a man with resilience, because I've just talked him up for kicking to the corner. That is a coach killer, not making touch there. Went for the 5-metre line, rightly so. As we mentioned, he was always going to try and give those extra inches, but not making touch, and then backing it up with a pretty outlandish little chip there. I think he got away with a little bit of luck there. I don't think he was necessarily too badly impeded, but showing he's got a lot of confidence to fly half. Man with the ball there now. You can see he puts a little dink over. I think that's a little bit unlucky. He was going up in the air for it. You're not expecting people to move out of the way. And referee Wigglesworth there, give him a little bit of home support perhaps.
Tom Cowan-Dickey just moved the furniture so that he couldn't get through.
He would be a great removal man. Cowan-Dickey is a brute. For a hooker to be able to play loose head as well is pretty incredible scenes, especially he's only 108 kilograms, not overly big.
No, not as big as some of the piano shifters, as they can be called. Two-point game into the last 10 minutes. Nottingham 15, Cornish Pirates 17. Ball in. Down by Moon. It's at the back as McConnell waits. Millett started at fullback. And for the suspended Hakalo. Oh, has that gone forwards? No, referee says happy enough, it's backwards. McConnell looks at his options, finds Everard. Everard with the drive forward, of course, the man who announced this week by the club as retiring from playing at the age of 27. He might look 37, but he's decided it's going to be coaching for him, following Ian Costello to Wasps. Gather wasn't made by Billy Robinson on the wing, so we come back for the penalty. But Nottingham are certainly getting several bites at the cherry here, Rob Vickerman.
They are absolute travesty how many penalties this Pirates team are giving away. Referees mentioned already, you've got to be very careful. They're lucky that they're all different types of infringement, but this is the end result. Bit of a speculative kick over to try and play the advantage. But we said before, if they square up this defence and play those inside balls, it's very difficult for a blitz defence to stop it, and as a result you tend to go a little bit higher. First opportunity now for Eden to really make his mark on it, to put them ahead for the first time.
Well, a crucial moment indeed. Pitch is muddy enough that you could probably build a tee out of the turf, but he has opted for the plastic one.
What's happened to sand? Why is that not happening anymore? I'd love to see that again. Bit of sand coming in, bring it out a cup, put it in a nice little tee, and off you go.
Build a little castle. Eden then to put Nottingham in front. Oh, he's pushed it. Can you believe it? Pressure perhaps is getting to Eden, a shake of the head, but that was a big one. And how much will that be rattling in their minds in a few minutes' time? Eden, normally so reliable from the tee, and he's let one go.
Well, second issue there, not making touch first time round in that bottom corner, and now missing a very, very kickable penalty. Got to make reference to that. Just 7 minutes left of this game. He's not happy. The coach undoubtedly is not going to be happy with that, and he's got to do something special now to try and give his team an opportunity.
Lawrence May goes for a mid-range restart. They've got to come again. Nottingham get themselves back into that area. They know that Cornish Pirates were coughing up those penalties if they could be patient and carry the ball into that area. McConnell, it's just held up in the middle. They'll go again, players running around the outside, but they go back to the right through Moon. Sekosio in to help secure it. Then they come out through Everard, plays out the back. Then it's a nice little shorter ball that time. And it's the clean-shirted Ben Brownlee. 16th league appearance for him. Then they look to go round the outside through Joe Cobden, the former Tigers Academy man. McConnell again gets the call on the shorter ball once more. Everard coming into the game even more as it goes into these last few stages, the experienced man. Furbank was looking for that ball on the inside there, came thundering just into your shot. McConnell, CO. Oh, he's just lost it forwards there, CO, and this will give Pirates scrum possession and the chance to start moving forwards rather than defending, which they've done really for the last 10 minutes.
Absolutely, and it's really taken its toll. Most of the Pirates now either cramping or are bent over because they're exhausted. So difficult to defend, yet alone on a pitch that's pretty heavy. To do what they've done in defence for this long really is commendable. Spoke to Alan Paver before, he said about how they have that endurance in them. They've had the week off, that is noticeable. And that relentless defence coughs up the errors, all too readily coming from Nottingham. Not that seeing the big men taking the ball flat, you've got to be very careful if your skill set's not up to it there, rather than taking the collisions a little bit earlier. To play flat can often be difficult.
Rory Burke is back to his feet. Tighthead started in the win against the Pirates, joined last summer after a decent season with Munster. Cork-born man, had some time with the under-20s, just 23 years of age as he is now. Decent presence to have in your front row. And Brownlee as well into the thick of things. Remember, Nottingham without a victory since round 9, back in the middle of November. Cornish Pirates, December the 3rd, their last win in the Greene King IPA Championship. Bring you up to date with scores elsewhere. Jersey Reds were 14 points adrift of Ealing earlier on. They did manage to close the gap, but it's finished Jersey 24, Ealing Trailfinders 32. So Ealing march on at the top of the table in second place. And Cornish Pirates will feel that this win gets ever closer as they win a scrum penalty.
That is a psychological hammer blow. Just look at the two reactions of teams there. All celebration from the Pirates. Fullbacks, wingers, centres running in, embracing that pack's effort. Incredible there. Judge, monumental. We are in the 75th minute and the tight head's still going strong. Commendable effort.
Yeah, joined this year on a 2-year deal from Bedford. And he was getting all the plaudits there. Absolutely pumped. So Pirates, well, getting into a decent enough position to potentially kill this game off. Change being made, and it is going to be Rory Burke, I think, who is making way. Pirates with the opportunity to strike here. Alex Day. It's going to be a real test of Nottingham's defence now, knowing how much they gave it going forwards. They've got to believe they're going to have one last chance to strike with 5 minutes on the clock as we have it. The ball is loose. It's been knocked on from Nottingham though. Alex Day is in absolutely no rush here. He'll happily soak up this advantage and keep playing this round the corner, taking an inch at a time if he has to, as long as they can just maintain possession. As I say that, they've opted to go a little wider. Day again into Lauday, who's been a decent character in everything they've done well going forwards. Day again, you can just see, we saw earlier in the game how quick his service was, and now it's just about the presence of mind to play a little slower and a little easier.
You could cast a blanket over all the Pirates now, Nick. No one playing in either edge of the pitch, just out and out, slowing it down, keeping it tight.
De Batista has got chronic hamstring cramp currently. He can barely get to his feet just out of your shot to the right. It's like he's been shot in the back of the thigh. Well, the Pirates having to push forwards over a pile of Nottingham bodies here. They've still got it. Now they're released it a bit wide. Lawrence May. They try and come through Costa. De Batista is still struggling. Pick and go around the short side. This will be absolutely sapping it out of Nottingham.
It's a remarkable effort keeping the ball this tight for this long. You know you're probably going to get one more opportunity in defence to turn it over. You've got to pick your moment wisely. 3 men running in at any one time, trying to blitz it, get in that shot, knowing you have to try and commit. And there it is.
Well, Nottingham get the penalty. Big shout and a big moment potentially. They've got a long way to go though.
This is where you need that experience to really grab it. Eden's got to make sure first and foremost it goes out, and from there you've got to start building. Really solid set piece, all important now. Likes of Ben Hooper coming on, really going to show his experience. First man to the line-out to get set. This is a massive moment for this Nottingham pack.
Cornish Pirates ought to make another change. They bring on former Nottingham man Toby Freeman, originally a West Country boy though, being at Exeter Uni. Just a reminder that our on-screen clock is as good an estimation as we have. We're not with an official timekeeper on our presentation. Tim Wigglesworth gets in to make sure that the Pirates players know whether they're on or offside. The crowd will be roaring them on here at Lady Bay to get Nottingham as close as possible. And Macau will be hoping that the referee can spot a penalty. He's trying to explain to him where one might be. He's already illustrating where Freeman is, but they have to release it. And now Eden plays it wide to Scanlon. Scanlon finds outside. It's Billy Robinson. Robinson caught in the tackle. McConnell did really well to get that away under plenty of pressure for Joe Cobden. Moon is there. Pick and go from him. Scrum half McConnell was trapped at the bottom. Then it's Poulet. McConnell. Now the Pirates' defence has got to be whiter than white. Any penalty in this area, and Tiff Eden would have no problem. 2-point game as it is. Key moments for both sides. McConnell, the ball squirts out. Oh, and then it's been lost forwards, has it? It's a penalty to Nottingham. A foot in there as the referee saw it. And a huge moment now for Tiff Eden to try and secure the victory.
Well, that is a massive, massive decision. Tim Wigglesworth there dictating it was an infringement. The Pirates all celebrating. That celebration could well turn to heartache. You can see scrum halves, as they always do, try to organise a little bit of gamesmanship there, leaving his right hand off the ball, decoying, coming through the middle. He kicked it. That is one of the new laws stated by World Rugby, that you are not allowed to kick the ball in a breakdown. You're allowed to backheel it.
It almost looked accidental though, didn't it, Rob? I mean, how conscious of that was he?
He was trying to step over the ball, you could see, but with him directly kicking the ball, referee perfectly correct to say that it was a kick, and what an opportunity now, almost pickpocketing the victory from the Pirates.
Well. Tiff Eden missed a fairly simple effort a few minutes ago. That one even more important, and that one the final act of the game. Their last victory in the middle of November. They taste victory again in the middle of February. But Nottingham Rugby have got the result over the line. And Cornish Pirates, having come up from the southwest and acquitted themselves so well for 79 minutes of that game, have lost out in the last one. It'll be heartbreak for the visitors, but Nottingham get the job done. Well, Rob Vickerman, your reflections on that result as far as the home side are concerned?
Well, psychologically, huge effort. Nottingham been so long without that win. Didn't look like they had much chance of it for 60 minutes of that game. Such was the dominance of the Pirates, but they grafted throughout. Eden looking for that opportunity to give their team a chance. He did it in the end after scuppering a couple of others, but for me, one of the most formidable players of this Nottingham team was in the pack, was in the front row, and Jimmy Stevens grabbed this game with the scruff of his neck and he dragged them through it. Outstanding play from the hooker. He is the Greene King IPA man of the match.
Yeah, brilliant effort from Jimmy Stevens and from that Nottingham pack, as Rob Vickerman says. There'll be a keg of IPA for him waiting at the end. Oh, well, you've got to get your breath back after that one. An absolute nail-biter here at Lady Bay. We will have some reaction coming for you shortly as well with coach, and hopefully we'll have a word with Jimmy Stevens as well. Nottingham absolutely delighted. Heartbreak really for Cornish Pirates. They did so much so well. I know a player like Alex Day would have been on the shortlist for player of the match if the result had gone the other way. He really kept things ticking over for the Pirates. Let's, if you've just joined us or you'd like to join us in looking back, let's see the highlights from the game. This was how things started. We were only going a couple of minutes into Batista scored. Thought we were in for a try-fest, Rob Vickerman.
Yeah, usually do championship games, always quite high scoring. This one a bit more attritional, a few errors creeping in, but this is how it started off. Wonderful play throughout the game. Moyle looking pretty good, ball in hand, lovely shift pass. Evans manages to get it out to his captain to score it. Good finish. We thought from this moment on it was all about Cornish Pirates. They were so dominant in many areas of the game. Their defence formidable. This was one of the few times their defence was breached. Bit of interaction in the middle, taking it through the guts.
Yeah, Tiff Eden almost looking for a chance to try and find a way through the hole and play it flat.
The theme of the championship been about one more pass. You can see it getting worked out to the left. Vianor manages to shift it across. Another bit of contact coming through, but wonderful hands. Again, a little flick out, demanding ball out wide. And there's the flick, all important.
Yeah, Buckley getting over. Eden unable to add the extras, which gave us a 2-point game at half-time. There with the hands to find the big man on the outside.
A little bit more through the guts from then on. Nottingham sensed an opportunity to go through the breakdown, but it was all about the Cornish defence. I mean, remarkable that they lost their game. It was so in control. Their attack looked powerful, their defence formidable. But what an effort from the home team to get through it, to ride through that storm, to stay within touch, and to get the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting that result over the line. We talked to Ian Costello at the start of the game about the elusive W. Well, they managed to get it.
You are seeing this right. That is a winger breaking through the middle of a driving maul. Thrown through the middle of it. Matavesi giving his winger opportunity to score one after setting one up with Solmad Evans, the Canadian international. Again, driving line-outs, all important in this league. Very powerful weapon to have a good one.
Helped over by his forwards and shown the way. Matt Evans with that score then for Cornish Pirates. And then guided his way over.
You can see Matavesi there almost trying to steal it off him, thinking, I'm the hooker here, I'm meant to get these tries from the back, but you know, really did make a platform for the Pirates. We didn't think there was any way back for Nottingham, such was their error rate, and a lot of penalties coming from Cornish Pirates gave Nottingham this territory, and that's what you want from your forwards. Again, driving maul, span them infield. So difficult to stop a human shield of men in front of you. And it was our man of the match scoring that one, we believe, in that melee of bodies.
Yeah.
Stevens not letting go of that one like most hookers wouldn't.
Yeah, certainly had Everard in there as well when they set that one up, but Stevens maintained the ball.
Noticeable miss there, that was Eden.
Yeah, letting it go. It's because he wanted that glory moment on the 80th minute mark, I think. I think that's what that one was all about. Well, a huge result for Nottingham. We certainly hope you've been enjoying our coverage on the Championship Rugby website and on the England Rugby Facebook page. The Championship continues to bring great drama. I mean, Cornish Pirates will go home with their tails between their legs, really feeling like they've missed out there. The losing bonus won't do an awful lot for them, will it?
No, it won't. I mean, that game was out and out theirs to win. It was formidable in their defence. We mentioned about how good their attack was. The amount of penalties they gave in that last quarter was the difference there. Nottingham not particularly creating much to get those opportunities. Think about slap downs, players being offside, really frustrated. And would you believe it, after being asked at half-time about the new law implication, that last action from the Pirates, you let Nottingham have it, you win the game. The ball kicked through, and Tim Wigglesworth, the referee, dictating it was illegal play, and there it was for Nottingham on a bit of a plate for them.
Yeah, it's a sticky old pitch as well. I mean, as much as they were trying to play a bit out there, it certainly with the amount of water and ice and snow and things we've had over the last few weeks, it might be just about ready to play on, but certainly it wouldn't have been the easiest. And we noticed, you know, as much as we talked to Alan Paver about the fitness of the players and having had that rest, they were struggling out there, perhaps both sides, just with how heavy the going was.
Yeah, and these are fit players, professional in their nature. They are really robust, and for 5 or 6 of them to be going down with cramp shows just how much running was done on that pitch and just how boggy it did end up. And you can just about see from the shots over our shoulders that it is a bit browner than perhaps it started. But credit to the Championship once again, thrilling game on show, and 8th and 9th place probably not doing themselves justice there for how good these teams really are.
Yeah, and I think we're hoping to speak to Jimmy Stevens shortly, so do stay with us, and we'll be able to speak to our Greene King IPA Championship player of the match. It's been great to hear from you guys as well, talking to us through the England Rugby Facebook page. We're still loving hearing your comments and finding out from where in the world you're watching this one. It's a real shot in the arm for Nottingham now, moving forward into the last 7 rounds of the Greene King IPA Championship. Rob Vickerman, this result brings about that positive psychology again, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it gives confidence, and rugby's all about having that. You could see at times in that game they had no right to be in it, but they had that belief, they had that, and as a head coach you are leveraging that in every single opportunity. The team meetings now will be a little bit more positive. You'll be talking about what's next, when's the next game, how can we get into it, and once again showing that the nature of having the TV cameras probably is a little bit of a gem for them.
Yeah, absolutely, we could say it was all down to us. And I think, well, a man who we decided it was all down to, I'm sure he'll give the credit to the rest of his team, is Jimmy Stevens. Jimmy, Nick Heath here in commentary alongside Rob Vickerman. Many congratulations on the result. You managed to bag yourself a meat pie as well. Your thoughts on the result and getting the job done on the 80th minute?
Shoulders now, like you said, credit to the boys, credit to Tiffy at the end there, stepping up, winning it for us. But we knew if we were going to win here, we had to come and play for 80 minutes, and we did, and we're really happy to get the win.
Well, very humble of you there, Jimmy, to compliment your fly half for kicking the ball at the end, but what graft from your boys up front. Just how hard was that game up front?
Yeah, really tough. We know Pirates come with a very physical game. Their defence, they get off the line, a lot of line speeds, and you know, we just had to get our heads down, get stuck in, ride it out, and yeah, as I said, really happy to get the win.
Jimmy, just finally from us, given how long it's been since the win came in the league back in November, as we've mentioned a couple of times, what sense of relief and satisfaction is there from the boys, and will there be in the changing room after this one?
Yeah, massive relief. It's as I said, big weight lifted from our shoulders, but every week we didn't let our heads drop. We were always told to play, and I think that's credit to our coach, giving us the confidence to come out here and play. Yeah, really happy with that.
Great. Well, listen, Jimmy, thanks very much for joining us. Well done on the victory, and give our best to the rest of the boys on a well-won 4 points.
Go and enjoy that keg.
Cheers. Cheers.
There he is with the Greene King IPA. Wonderful. Good chance there to speak to our player of the match, Jimmy Stevens, for Nottingham. A great job by him, and as you say, by that forward pack.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to go against what was against them there, the Pirates, big in their scrum, set piece, a real weapon for Nottingham. So it shows that those hours spent, and Neil Fox, the guy that's going to take the mantle from Costello, really is showing his capabilities as a coach, and just that relief, that sense of just getting over it. We've got that win now, we can start building. That is a huge game for Nottingham in what was a really impactful crowd as well. I think it's lots to build on for sure.
Yeah, certainly is. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our coverage here at Lady Bay at Nottingham. There'll be more coming, I'm sure, on the England Rugby Facebook page through the Championship. We've got the Tyrrell's Premier 15s as well, women's and the under-20s and all sorts coming up. So do keep sticking with us for all of the live coverage that we present, and we hope you enjoyed this one. The Championship rolls on. Round 16 is done and dusted. The Pirates have got that one game in the bag, though, so maybe they'll just feel that this is one to forget and they can move on afterwards. Rob, thanks very much for joining us and for all of your thoughts. My name's Nick Heath. Have a great rest of your weekend from all of us here in Nottingham. It's a very good evening.